Good day, everyone. So this is Dr. Rosalie Rosales. So we will be dealing with understanding the background of the study and framework development of your study, particularly in structuring your theoretical and conceptual framework and other parts of the chapter 1. So by end of this session, you will have, I hope that you will have a clear map or roadmap for organizing your research. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Yan, introduction. So before we jump in understanding the whole parts of the chapter 1, let's have an overview on how to write a solid background of the study, choosing the right theoretical framework for your study, and linking your framework to build your research problem. And of course, your conceptual framework. Kasi ang conceptual framework ninyo is the research backbone of your study. Okay, let's move on to the next. Background of the study. First, we have to discuss the deductive approach. Actually, deductive approach is used as your basis in drafting your background of the study. Meron din tayong inductive approach. And it will be your decision then if your study is a mixed method, whether it is a deductive approach and inductive approach, depending on the research design that you're going to use. And I will be discussing that to the upcoming videos in terms of chapter 3. Okay, so in line with deductive approach, you have to start with the general concept, from macro down to micro. So parang thinking of this strategy or approach like you are entering a funnel. So you have to start with the broad and narrowing down. So parang inverted funnel siya. So what is deductive approach? It starts with the general idea or the theories that applies to your study. For example, if your research already tell us that poor communication affects the aviation safety, then test this in a specific context. So how it impacts the student pilots. Okay? Most of the time, when we talk about the first paragraph, it is also looking at the global issues, challenges, and trends when we talk about your topic. Yun yung sa start, which is the macro, and going down to the micro perspective. So, next dyan, you will be supporting your claims doon sa first paragraph. Tandaan nyo guys that when we talk about the first paragraph, it should be catchy. Okay? Pwedeng you define what is all about your topic. For example, your topic is about cockpit trainer. So, in general sense, or in general definition of cockpit, most of the readers ninyo, they will define cockpit as sabungan. Ganon. Okay? So, since majority of magiging readers ninyo, hindi naman aviation related din. May mga ibang readers that may consider reading your paper. So, dun pa lang, since they don't really understand what is all about cockpit training in terms of aviation, you have to define it. Pero if the term is already known to others or known to many, all you need to do for the first paragraph is to show or to present the global scenario, global situation that includes the issues, the challenges, and trends in line with your topic. Second is basing on theories, literature, and framework. Pero in this case, I suggest that you present here several studies, empirical studies, or aside from the empirical studies, statistics that supports your statement doon sa paragraph number 1. Okay, your statement or your paragraph number 2 will include either both statistics and empirical studies. When we say empirical studies, a lot of studies that shows or support your claim doon sa paragraph number 1, or you may include only statistics or you may include only the empirical. Okay? So, pwede nyo rin gamitin or you can also present your second paragraph including the statistics and the several empirical study. But just make sure that you establish a transition or a connection between your first paragraph and your second paragraph. Okay, next. Use when a strong theoretical foundation already exists. You may include some of the theories, or you may include you may use this deductive approach if there is an existing theory that applies to your study, or if your study or your research aim to prove or disprove something. Okay? You may start from the global arena, going down to Asia, to Philippines, and to the local of your study. If your local of the study is in Pangasinan or in a school, then you establish something that proves your claim. And if you have a claim that there's an effect of particular statement or a particular topic, then you have to present all the proofs, whether it is a theory, a statistics, or a study. Kasi ang deductive approach is, it is like being detective. You have several observations, particularly dun sa local of the study. So you have evidences, you have observations, but you have to support it with evidences. Dyan din, from the empirical studies and statistics, it will also be the basis of the researchers in order for them to establish their purpose, why they wanted to conduct the study. So in this case, for the deductive approach, it is about proving something. It is about proving that there's a need for this study. So in the background of the study, if you wanted to prove that there's a need, hindi pwedeng you talk about the local of the study in the first paragraph. No. Dapat it should be a funnel. Paliit ng paliit, from macro to micro. So start with the global scenario, issues, challenges, and trends. Second paragraph, you may consider including the statistics and empirical studies that supports the ideas or to support the statement that you have in the paragraph number 1. Paragraph number 3, number 4, you may opt to include several studies or in order for you to determine the research gap from global to Asia to Philippines, going down to the local of the study. And syempre, at the last part of it, you have to state the reason why there is a need to conduct this study. Okay, so it's very important that you establish a connection from first paragraph up to the last paragraph of your study, and make sure that you have supporting documents in all the claims and observations that you have. And another thing is, in terms of the background of the study, you have to put a parenthetical sources in each statement that you presented. Okay, so for example, in the paragraph number 2, you presented at least 2 statistics and 5 studies. So, dapat may parenthetical sources kung saan siya galing. Okay? You have to include that in order for us to at least acknowledge those people who conducted the similar studies that you wanted to conduct too. Okay? And also, as your basis in order for you to determine that there is a gap in the researches that was already conducted. So, yun yung ikakonduct mo. So, support your background of the study with empirical sources or parenthetical sources, and make sure that there is a good flow of an information when we talk about the background of the study. For the background of the study, hindi naman kailangang super haba. At least 2 to 3 pages will do. Okay na siya. Okay? Iba kasi they consume seven or more pages. It's because they adopted the IMRAD format. Provided that you presented all the necessary informations needed in your study, 3 to 4 pages will do. Okay. Okay, so that is the deductive approach. It's like a funnel from macro to micro. Let's move on to the next type of approach when we talk about drafting your background of the study. So, inductive approach. Usually, inductive approach is used in a qualitative study. Deductive approach is used mostly in a quantitative study. So, the inductive approach works in reverse manner naman. So, it starts with a specific observation and builds towards general conclusion, or it builds towards your purpose. Why do you want to conduct the study? So, starts with a specific observation, then leading to the purpose. Why do you want to conduct the study? Okay. So, for example, let's say you notice that international aviation students struggles with communication during their flight simulation. So, you conducted interview and find patterns. So, from there, you formulated a broad theory about how a language proficiency affects aviation training. Okay, so you start with the observations, then build now with a broader conclusion, with a broader issues, with a broader knowledge, theories if possible. So, in that case, mabubuo nyo na yung inductive approach. So, how does it work? Okay, you notice pattern in aviation, students struggling with English, Okay, so, yung pattern na nakita nyo, you have to explore that, looking at the challenges, but through research. You have to support all your claims, all your observations with research. Okay, then from there, you can now build a body of knowledge from the observations ninyo. Okay, so, ang unang-una, based on my example, nag-struggle yung estudyante in terms of English. So, ano ang unang-unang paragraph nilalagay mo dun? It is about, pwedeng you start with importance muna, then biglang papasok ka na dun sa your observations, your observations about the patterns in aviation, students struggling in English. It has something to do with their native language, transitioning to speaking in English, mga ganon. So, pag ganon yung inumpisahan ninyo, then the second paragraph should be about exploring the little existing research na na-observe mo and support your claim with a lot of studies and statistics that proves that itong particular pattern na to has something to do, or itong particular practice na to, or itong particular social or personal profile of the respondents or of the students has something to do with them, especially in struggling in English. So, maghahanap ka ng mga different studies. You will be looking at the different literature, statistics, para ma-prove mo yung claim mo. Then, at the end, same as with the deductive approach, last part should be the clinching statement, why do you want to conduct the study? And the purpose, why there is a need for this study. So, kung babalikan natin the difference between deductive approach and inductive approach, yung funnel dun sa deductive approach, at the end, purpose of the study. Why do you want to conduct the study? Ito naman inductive, you start with the problem kaagad, the pinpointed problem, why students are struggling in English. Okay? So, then palalawakin mo yung study mo, ipoprove mo that there's different studies, etc. But, ang similarity lang ni deductive ka inductive sa akin is the last paragraph. the clinching statement, why there is a need for this study, or the clinching statement, why we should conduct the study in terms of this topic. So, medyo mahirap establish ang background of the study, but if you know the strategy and approaches, then I think kaya naman natin. Okay? So, based from my suggestion and lecture, I hope na you can develop your background of the study ng tama, especially looking at the proper approaches in terms of your background of the study, whether it is deductive or inductive approach. Kung si deductive approach is like a funnel, ang inductive approach naman is like putting a puzzle pieces together. So, you see the pattern first, then form a bigger picture. Start kayo kaagad dun sa unang-unang pattern na nakita ninyo. So, that's the inductive and the deductive approach. So I will cut it here kasi medyo mahaba-haba na yung time natin, 15 minutes. So, another video for the theoretical and the conceptual framework. So, I hope you learn something about the background of the study, and hope that you can draft your background of the study smoothly. Happy writing, everyone!